Little mama's girl. Taking place in Toronto, Ontario, Canada in the year 2002, whenever Maylin Lee, who is a Chinese Canadian student, expresses big, strong emotions, she turns into a big, red, and fluffy red panda. Every time she thinks about the most exciting things, especially her favorite boy band, Fort Town. Yeah. And just like Pixar's Soul and Luca, this movie was originally going to be released theatrically on March 11th, 2022 by Walt Disney Motion Pictures, but due to concerns of the Omicron variant, this went to Disney Plus as a Disney Plus original, despite this movie being released in limited engagement theaters. At some countries, yeah. I know some of you might handle it, but there are some Pixar fans that are very disappointed with the this Disney make. Well, not just the Pixar fans, but even employees of the Pixar animation studios as well. But aside from that, I just recently checked out this movie on Disney Plus, and what do I think of it? Oh my goodness. This movie was so funny and yet so relatable at the same time. So let me tell you the reasons why this movie will make you turn red, but in a really good way. Let's start off with the premise. The movie's premise in this movie is really interesting and endearing. Whenever a girl gets too excited or frustrated, she turns into a big, fluffy, and furry red panda. Like, how creative is that? Number two, the animation. While the animation is not just a step up from Pixar's recent movies and their old movies, it feels so smooth, vibrant, and colorful, especially when there's poof clouds after when Maylin Lee turns into a big red panda. 3. The characters are both likable and memorable, especially Maylin Lee herself. 4. This movie can also be relatable depending on your view. Because why? Because this movie tackles both puberty and anxiety with a different direction twist. 5. I really like how the facial expressions on the characters pay homage to anime, or even Western cartoons from the 2010s. Especially this one right here! Moving on, number 6. Domi Shi did a really good job directing this movie. If you don't know her, she is the director of the 2018 Pixar short film named Bao. And I remember that short film played before my screening of Pixar's The Incredibles 2. Man, remembering it right now while I'm reviewing this, the middle of the short gives me emotional vibes remembering that right now. So yeah. 7. There are several nice Easter eggs in this movie. For example, you can see the bunny sticker on Maylee's journal, which is actually the bunny from the Pixar Spark short named Burrow. Speaking of Burrow, Burrow was originally going to be released theatrically before Soul when Soul was intended for a theatrical release. But ever since Soul was moved to Disney Plus, Burrow was also moved to Disney Plus. 8. The voice acting is really great, and it's really fitting for most of the characters. 9. This movie manages itself to have a killer soundtrack that gives everyone flashbacks from the 2000s decade. even songs from Pixar's first ever fictional band named Fort Town. Did I mention Ludwig Göransson did a really amazing job doing the score for this movie? Man, it's so vibrating and stunning, even for 2022 animated movie standards. And Tan, what are you doing? Stop moving like that! Note, I got that quote from Ming Lee when she turned into a really big, huge red panda that is Godzilla sized in the third act of this movie. God, the third act was so crazy. Also, I gotta love the "Nobody Like You" reprise while Maylin Lee and her family and her aunties, and including her friends, help her mother fit into the circle. You know, the ritual. So yeah, before I wrap up this review, do I have any criticisms with this movie? Well, I have one. A little criticism with this movie. My little criticism with this movie is that Tyler can be a little bit unlikable at times, but fortunately, he kind of redeemed himself in the near end of this movie. Overall, in my opinion, Turning Red was hilarious yet so relatable movie from Pixar Animation Studios. While I'm a little bit let down that this movie should have been theatrical, but do you know what Pixar movie should be theatrical? Lightyear, aka my true most anticipated movie of 2022, alongside DreamWorks' The Bad Guys. So yeah. Now moving on, let's get into my rating. My score for Turning Red would be a 9.2 out of 10. So yeah, that's my review for Pixar's recent movie Turning Red. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And my next movie that I'm gonna see in 2022 will likely be Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And after Sonic the Hedgehog 2, it'll likely be my second most anticipated movie of 2022 named DreamWorks' The Bad Guys. I'm very optimistic that this movie will be my favorite movie of 2022 so far, but Lightyear might top it. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time. Oh, one more thing. Stand Fort Town.